What's happening, Wes?
What's happening, Brian Powell? Just a typical West day here in
hmm
the Dillon household. What's up with you?
just a typical West day over here in the Paul household. Yeah, which means that there's a lot of stuff going on. Things we're real busy, and but always really happy to pump the brakes and kick back and hang out with the cats and talk about video games, which is my favorite thing to do, other than play video
Yep,
games, of course.
exactly. Second favorite thing to do. Play video games, number one, which
hmm
I did get to do a little bit earlier today,
Yeah,
just for this special West Day occasion. And now we get to talk about it, which is the perfect fail-safe built into my life every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time.
let's talk about that. Oh, sorry, wrong show. We're not. This is not Good Mythical Morning. All right, let's start the show. This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 West Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure, but we also care about the balls, not of your eyes, but of your ears. That's why we put this thing up on podcast services of your choice. I say we, it's me now, which means when it doesn't happen until sometime the next day, you know who to blame. It's this guy right here. Two thumbs. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, and this gentleman over here to my left, to your right, is Wes Dillon from Virtual Strangers. Hey, Wes.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Brian Paul. Happy Wednesday, cats. We're back. We're home, Brian. How was your return? I guess you didn't fly. How was your return journey back to
It,
Worcester?
it was wonderful. It was wonderful. You're probably going to hear Tornado meowing at me the whole time. She's very noisy right now. But it was great. It was great. You know, my mom's favorite expression is "Let's hurry up and leave so we can come so we can get back." And that's sort of how I felt about the entire weekend. It's like I feel like we were so busy and things were happening kind of just like rapid fire that like we almost couldn't appreciate them as they were happening. And so it wasn't until I hurried up and got home that I could sort of stop and reflect on the entire weekend and just be like, how fucking amazing that was. This my once a year opportunity to see you and AJ and Miles in person, people flying from other countries to come see us and hang out. Like it's surreal. It's surreal, dude. Like, we say thank you all the time, but like sometimes it doesn't totally sink in over here. Sometimes you just have to go, holy shit, like what are we doing? Like why how did we get to this place in our lives where people 128 people hanging out right now watching us live and then a few thousand watching us later. How did we get to this point where like people cared what we did?
It's
I don't
pretty
know.
incredible, right? Like we've got just over a month ago, we said, "Hey guys, we'd really like to meet up with you guys in Boston. Could you spot us 10 grand real quick so we can do that?"
Right?
And the cats are like, "Sure." And then we go there, and all these awesome people show up, and some of them, like Andrew Ehrenreich or John Tatum, just literally barely able to swing by for a few hours. But that almost makes it like more impressive or special, so to speak, that they had that little bit of time to spare, but they still made the effort to come through and say hello and shake hands and kiss babies. And what an incredible experience! What an incredible community! And I know we say it all the time, but it doesn't make it any less true. You all have my eternal gratitude for being here and caring.
Yeah. 100%, man. 100%. I no lies detected. It's amazing. It's amazing. Uh, so we are back, and we've been kind of getting back into the swing of things. Did you? Listen, it's really confusing to me. It's like what we should be talking about because like we did do a show from PAX, and as you guys know, like we couldn't do it live. Like there was just no possible way. We could barely record it. Like we kind of jerry rigged the whole thing just to be able to record it properly, and we'll see if that worked out the way that it should have. And so like we did talk about a bunch of things there already, but I feel like we kind of have to ignore that until I publish it. And so I got a few questions for you. Wes, have you had a chance to play Pirates VR, Jolly Roger on PSVR2? I know you played it on PC, but I was curious to hear if you'd been able to do a little PSVR2 action, and let us know if there were any differences.
No, I have not played it. But what I did do is watch the Gamescast on Monday, where
Yeah.
you shared some footage, and I immediately saw some differences. That, one of my few nitpick criticisms of the game was that it didn't really feel like a pirate game when I played it.
Mm.
And there's a new intro now that was not there when I played it, to kind of put you in like this lounge, or I don't know, maybe you're on a ship or something, talking to other pirates and kind of setting up the story arc for the game. Um, I got to imagine that had a big impact on the experience, as far as making it feel more like a pirate sort of story that you're going through. Besides that, I noticed like a cheetah or something around a chest
Yeah.
that either wasn't there when I played, or otherwise I just didn't find it, which I find hard to believe, because you know how I am. I look at everything. So like, but it's obvious that they made some changes, and I think probably changes based on the feedback I gave when we covered this game 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Um, they said,
When Sorry, one of the things that we were talking about was that, like, I was like, oh, is there story, or like, are there, like, messages in a bottle and shit that you find throughout the course of the game? And I believe you said no, right?
think so,
Yeah, I
probably, yeah.
mean, and so I was a little surprised to find, there's just like some pages laying around with letters, and just it's not a lot of story, right? It's just a little bit here and there to kind of just make you feel like you're uh, you know, doing something more than just wandering around and solving puzzles. It like actually kind of fills in the narrative just enough. It's not a lot, but it's there, and I was pretty happy to see that.
But no, I haven't got a chance to play it on PlayStation yet, unfortunately. I've been extremely busy as usual since I got home, working on things for all these May launches that are getting ready to happen. But um, yeah, I look forward to checking it out and seeing how it translates. Of
Yeah, I know you would have checked it out if I even remotely suggested that we were gonna talk about it today.
course, of course.
Fortunately, we did play a bunch of stuff, um, and we'll get to all of that soon enough. Um, All right, man. Well, I say we jump right into the show. Oh, hey, speaking of Gamecat Andrew Ehrenreich, he's here with a $10 tip saying Happy West Day. It's it's so cool I can put a face to the name now. What's up, Andrew?
Jealous. I can't.
Oh, right. Yeah. I think Andrew Ehrenreich and Samson were probably the two that like most people missed. Like I didn't see Samson, but I heard he was there. Um, and Andrew Ehrenreich, I think some of us met for about 10 minutes and then gone.
Thanks, man. I want to talk to Samson.
Hell
See what I
yeah.
did there?
I see exactly what you did there. One of the things that happened last week before we went to PAX is that the Midnight Walk came out. Midnight Walk, fantastic game, wouldn't you agree?
Love it. Love this world so much. Shout out to 12 Toed Tom for allowing me to play it in the lobby of Gamecat Central last week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, pretty unbelievable game. And I mean, for any of the criticisms you can throw at this game, I feel like there's only really one that stuck, and that's that on PSVR2. The resolution is just not really what you'd expect. I feel like a lower resolution is something you can excuse here and there. We could just go, But for a game that's so centered around its visuals, something that like these amazing claymation characters and claymation worlds, and just the awesome animation that they used, it really needs to be sharp, I think, to really really appreciate what they've done here. Right? I think it's a disservice to the artists themselves that the PSVR2 version launched with subpar resolution, and I think a lot of people agree with me. But well, let me ask you. You're the other one here, and cats. Let me know in the chat. I think some people think I was over exaggerating the resolution issue. Um, What did you think, Wes?
Well, it's definitely a thing. It's certainly there. It is noticeable. I wouldn't even calling it an issue might be a little bit too strong for me. Like it's a thing. Um, it's kind of like it's soft. Like it's soft, and it's not always consistent. There, it seems like it comes and it goes. Like toward the very start of the game, um, it was more noticeable. And what it looks like is aggressive anti-aliasing, honestly, is what it looks like. It looks like they're trying to smooth out the rough edges a little bit too much. But after you unlock your companion and it kicks into that animation as it comes to life, you can see it's like they flipped the switch off. Everything becomes sharper, which does introduce other like visual artifacts and things like aliasing and stuff like that. But it does add a degree of sharpness, which as you play through, it seems to come and go in and out at certain areas of the game. Um, in a vacuum by itself, not the biggest issue, uh, but like you said, this game's so centered on the world and the experience of being immersed in this world. Anything that would potentially pull you out and remind you that you're playing a game is going to negatively affect the experience. And while the resolution by itself isn't that big of an issue, when you pair that with Mira and you pair that with gray blacks instead of black blacks, the entirety of that does pull you out of the experience a little bit. But again, I want to make sure that people aren't misreading what I'm saying here. I love this experience. I think it's amazing, and it's unfortunate that sometimes when you have a game that's so good, the little negatives sometimes become the story. And I don't want that to be the story here. I think that this is an amazing, unique world, unlike anything else in the VR catalog, and I highly recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, it's it was something that I got used to. The more I played it, the more I got used to it, and even when I would stop and take a break and come back, and in my head thinking, oh, it's the resolution's so bad, and then I would put the headset back on and go, oh, it's not that bad, right? But it was definitely a case of Stockholm syndrome a little bit, where I'm just this is the game I'm playing. I'm not putting the headset on and playing Red Matter 2 between sessions. Then it would be monumentally different and be like, oh yeah, the resolution is really bad. But you do
I
get
just
used
want to
to
make
it.
I just want to make sure people understand this is not Hell Sweeper on launch. This is
No.
not Green Hell on launch. It's not like that. It's just a little soft. You would want it, being in such an amazing world, you want it to be crystal clear and perfect, and it's just not perfect.
I agree it's not Hellsweeper, but I don't agree that it's not Green Hell. I feel like it's Green Hell. Because Green Hell, if you remember, Green Hell didn't bother me that much, and it was another thing where I was like, "Oh, it's kind of soft, it's kind of blurry," and then I got used to it and just continued to play the game, and was like, I didn't even see it after a while. So like for me, it is kind of Green Hell VR, and it was
Green
like,
Hell
oh
had a Green Hell had a very visible pop-in line 10 feet in front of
yes,
you at all times. And you could just, I mean, it was like a literal line in your visuals.
yep,
Like that's not happening here at all.
no. So anyway, hopefully this is not a conversation we even need to have in the near future, because if you've been paying attention over on this is just, I think, my favorite article on the topic. This all comes from I believe a subreddit, AMA, but over on what is this, Mixed
Mixed
News, I
news.
believe.
Yeah.
Thank you. The headline reads, "The Midnight Walk disappointed me on PSVR2." They put the space in the wrong place, but here's an update. But an update offers hope. Let's see. The game, which was released last week, features a unique visual style with an eerily beautiful game world rarely seen in video games. One major drawback, however, is surprisingly low resolution, particularly on PlayStation VR2, which detracts from an otherwise impressive visuals. For this reason, he currently advises against purchasing the game. I don't advise against purchasing it, by the way. I think I gave it an 8.2 and said if they fix the resolution, 9.2, because it'd be just that much more amazing. So I also played Midnight Walk on PlayStation VR2 before its release and had the same impression. The resolution was so low I could barely read the text. That's not something I experienced, and felt like I was playing a PSVR1 game. That is how I described it. A patch release on launch day alleviated the problem somewhat, but did not make a significant improvement. Since then, higher resolution has been on top of many PSVR2 fans' wish list. The Midnight Walk deserves better, and the game world will look much more impressive with sharper visuals. The next headline reads, the update could be coming as early as next week. The studio behind the game Moonhood has acknowledged the criticism and is promising improvements. In a Reddit AMA, the studio confirmed it's working on an update that'll bring general improvements to the PSVR2 version. These include higher resolution, headset haptics, and more. It's funny, Wes, I don't know if you noticed, in the menu settings, there's a slider for headset haptics. And it doesn't matter if you put that thing at 0 or 100, you are not getting headset haptics in this game. So that was a little bit disappointing. Especially like early on, there's like a chase sequence where like the whole world is shaking and you're like, where's the headset haptics? It's the kind of stuff you don't miss until it's not there, right? You don't appreciate headset haptics until they're not present or until you put your Quest on. And more. The update is scheduled to release next week if all goes according to plan. Now, when the hell did this article come out? This came out May 12th. So this article is from Monday. So with any luck, we could have this update by next week, Wes. And then it could, with these issues being out of the way and everything looking and feeling a little bit better, does this fall into your top 20 PlayStation VR2 games? I know it's a hard question to ask.
I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know, but it certainly has that potential. This is one of those games, like this might be this generation's Here They Lie for me. Everyone knows how much I love Here They Lie. It's not a game proper. It's more of an experience that you walk through and live. And I feel similar about this game, even though it is a very different world and a very different experience. It's that same degree of originality and uniqueness and personality to this world and its characters. It feels alive, but it feels alive in a very specific way that it's hard to describe unless you just get in and experience it. So yeah, this could be one of my like cult favorites. It's one of those situations like Here They Lie that you hate to like sit here and tell people it's the best game on the platform, where your personal opinion, it might be your favorite experience on the platform. I very much feel that this title has that potential for me personally.
Yeah. Well, very special game, very special experience. I don't know exactly how long it took Moonhood Games to make this game. They're already asking like what game would you want us to make next? But I'd be curious to see what they make next, and I'd be curious to see like if they have another game in them this generation, or if they like would literally be making something for PlayStation 6, PSVR 3, Quest 4, whatever it is. But there was a reason I brought all this up, is because to me it kind of feels like something you only get once a generation, right? Whereas like Ghost Giant, their last game under the Zoink Games label, felt like something you only get once a generation, like powerful, emotional, artistically beautiful, and it's sonically beautiful too. I mean, just an amazing soundtrack in both of these games. So, yeah, do not ignore the Midnight Walk. But if you haven't bought it yet, fucking wait till next week and maybe play the best version of it possible. See what happens. So, but you know what? Another game that could easily fall on our top 25 list, Wes. Badminton VR time. Just got announced for PlayStation VR2 with a physical version of it coming from Perp. This is not what I had on my bingo card for the week. But I mean, dude, I got to be honest. Okay, I saw this and immediately was like, oh, geez, another one of these where it's yes, it looks fun. But again, like we need a rec room style environment where it's like we have multiple games to play, where there's bowling and there's badminton and there's tennis and there's table tennis, and it just seems excessive to keep selling us one sport at a time. But I'll tell you, it sounds like I might be in the minority here. This game has a charm about it that kind of looks right. It's sort of reminiscent of like the clap hands style of sports games, whereas you look at something like Everybody's Golf or Hot Shots Golf, whatever you want to call it, where it's like this goofy kind of arcadey fun, very charming environments, cutesy characters. And I was shocked to see how many people were like, "Oh yeah, sign me up! I'm so interested in this. I'm so excited this is coming." Like, really? Because that makes me happy, but I just didn't expect that response from people. I mean, what's your take on this trailer?
Well, I haven't watched the trailer yet.
Oh,
I'm kind of flipping through the screenshots right now that they added to the press kit. Um, it looks interesting. On one hand, the visuals are cartoony, but they don't seem super basic. They actually look very polished.
right.
And it looks like one of those all ages, family friendly type of experiences, and it seems like they have enough stuff going on the peripheral here, that it could be some nice party fun for you and a few friends. Um, it would be one thing if this were like Badminton Simulator VR, but that's not what this looks like. This looks a bit more arcadey and abstract. It looks like there's lots of little activities and Mario style characters in it.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I don't want to short sell this one before I play it. It could be fun.
Yep. Um, AJ in the chat is saying, "I don't like badminton, but I like the silliness that I'm seeing." Me too. Me too. This looks really nice. Hopefully, it's running nice and
Good.
smooth and really sharp in the headset.
Maybe it'll be good mitten.
Ooh. I didn't. I never knew it was spelled Minton.
Minton. Good
Minton.
Minton.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeff Minton. Shout out to Knox with the €1 always coming by to drop off his euro. Thank you so much for your support, Noctis. Kill Artist 1, the Dreamweaver Gamecat with the $5 tip. So sorry I'm late. The only downside to taking time off is that the work piles up. LOL. Well worth it though. Glad to see you're back at work, just like we are, Kill Artist. It feels so weird to get back to work. It's like we had this like amazing weekend and it was like super special, and then it's like, okay, and back to the grind. It's like, it's just, I don't know, there's a weird dichotomy at play there. But hey, I get to play video games for a living, so
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
it's
complaining.
completely weird because you get away from work, you finally get a break, and the whole time you're away, you're just thinking about the things that are piling up. When you get back, you're gonna have to deal with. Um, but still, it's nice to take a minute every now and then for yourself.
Yeah. Uh, hey chat, what do you think of Wes's lighting? Doesn't Wes's lighting look really good?
Good, does it look weird?
I think it looks good. Let us know in the chat, in the comments if you're watching this later. We need to know because I'm very curious. We also got Old Geezer, the Gamer Cat, with the Canadian $5 tip, says, "Midnight Walk, love the world, but had to restart 3 times in 1 hour. Potboy stuck in the floor. Options menu float in my face. Got stuck in a closet." I don't know. It doesn't seem like you're stuck in the closet, Gamer Cat. Seems like you're very, very open. But sorry, like really in my head that was fucking hilarious. He says it was triggering. LOL. No. Well, hopefully this stuff that's all been reported to. I was gonna say fast travel, but developers Moonwalk. And hopefully this is all part of the patch that we'll be seeing next week. Kind of knocking out a couple of the bugs along with the. I didn't experience any bugs. I don't think. I think there was. I feel like.
Thing.
Oh, you know
Seems
what?
like maybe there was something, but I'm having trouble placing what it was.
For me, there was one puzzle. If anybody remembers that, there aren't too many opportunities to use this cool mechanic, but like when you close your eyes and you listen for things, right? It allows you to focus orally, and so you're chasing down this one particular thing during a segment. You have to keep closing your eyes, and it broke for me. Like I was doing it for probably 10, 15 minutes, and I was like, "This can't be right. This can't be right. Something's wrong here." Right, and so I just quit the game and then restarted, and it put me right back to that chapter, only a couple seconds from starting that area, and I blasted through it in like 30 seconds. Like it was a very quick segment that I thought was, that I thought it was like, oh, is this supposed to take 10, 15 minutes? No, it's not. So if you find yourself in that situation, quit the game and start out. So hopefully that's been cleared up too. But yeah. Overall, though, I thought it was a relatively polished experience. I didn't experience really many bugs at all.
Yeah, no, there wasn't a whole lot of jank that I can recall experiencing. There is a little bit of you can tell it wasn't completely developed with VR in mind, with some of the interactions, but I think it's fine. Like it didn't bother me really. It's noticeable,
Yeah. Oh, you know what? There was one time that I even mentioned in the review. It took a second for the synapses to start firing. There was a time when the game pushed me out of the closet before I was ready. And like I never opened the doors. And so because I didn't actually go through the process of opening the doors and the game pushed me out into the world, the characters in there weren't responding. It was as if I was still in the closet, and so I couldn't talk to the characters. They weren't, speaking like they were supposed to. The cutscene didn't trigger, and so nothing moved forward. I had to quit, jump back in. Everything worked fine. So
yeah. I found it sometimes a little bit difficult to get out of those closets. I thought maybe opening the doors would trigger you automatically getting out, but that's not what happens. Like I had to literally lean forward out of my chair to get out of the closet.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I felt like I had to like lean back. It's because it was too close to the doors, and so I had to reach up and grab the handle. I don't know. Anyway, I think part of that was because I was trying to play sitting down, and like something was weird with the sitting mode. Like you couldn't switch standing and sitting on the fly. You'd have to like legit quit out and start sitting from I don't know. Okay, so now the more we talk about this, the more I'm like, wow, what a fucking buggy mess this game was. It's like, oh, it's so polished. I got a couple bugs to work out. Man, everyone's a lot of opinions on your look here in the chat.
People were asking if I lost weight, and I don't know if that's a joke or not, but I actually have. I've lost a significant amount of weight.
Oh, yeah, man.
Over the last
Congratulations.
month or so. So thank you. I didn't do anything except for change my dietary habits. We quit frying things in seed oil, but I won't go down that conversation path here. Hit me up on Discord if you're interested.
Yeah, losing weight's always about the diet. It is never. You can go to the gym and fucking wreck yourself at the gym 5 times a day. You don't lose weight unless you change your diet. Son, WTF just sent out 5 without parole gift memberships. Let's see who got those. Silver Nexus got it. Random Toxie got it. BR got it. Gamecat Drac 72 got it. Q Creator got it. Well, way to go, son.
Thanks for stopping by. Q Creator.
Oh, he's trying to quietly hide, in the corner, not say a goddamn word. And then Sun comes along, pulls him out of the closet. We're outing people left and right today, Wes. I apologize.
What we do.
That's what we do. All right, man. Let's get to the topic of the show, and that is that's Iron Guard. It's launching. It's out. I think right now in the UK and parts of Europe. I think it has a rolling release coming out at midnight. So wherever you are, once it hits midnight, Iron Guard is coming out. Wes, I'm going to start off with some massive praise of this game, and hopefully what I'm about to say will actually resonate and make sense to you guys. But I didn't really I didn't want to. Here it is. Here's the video I was looking for. This is some footage. As always, you guys, random footage. I have no idea if this will show off what I want it to show off. But I played this for 3 hours today. My plan to cover Iron Guard was to play it for 2, maybe 3 hours, and then push out a Brian bite. That was it. I was like, I don't really want to play this. I don't really feel like playing another tower defense game in VR. We don't get a ton of them, but usually they're a little lackluster. And I just didn't care that much. I played this for 3 hours straight and only stopped because I had to set up GAMESCAST and render out some footage and get the show together. And I'm only a third of the way through the game. And so if those times check out, it's at minimum a 9-hour game. There's 30 levels. I'm only through the first 10. and there's a ton of replayability. It really rewards you for grinding and going back to old levels and doing better with the new stuff that you have, the new equipment, and getting a better rating to get more skill points, and then you can use those skill points to upgrade the shit that you have. And dude, I'm obsessed. I am obsessed with this game. I'm not going to tell you it's like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, but like I think it's an 8 out of 10 that like I might even try to platinum. I am having an absolute blast with this. It is very standard tower defense fare, but I think just done so well, right? It's the kind of stuff where you set up turrets to shoot the oncoming enemies, and then you set up other turrets that freeze the enemies and slow them down. And then there's ones that shoot out flames to set them on fire. But you also have in your hand something that makes it way more of a VR game. You have, instead of a controller in your hand, you have a drone, and the drone you're firing like a gun. You're triggering special attacks, and eventually there are enemies that are aircraft that will come at you and not your base, literally firing at your drone in the air. And so you have to, very Yuki-like, dodge the bullets with your hand while taking them down, because they're just there to distract you so that you can't help the forces on the ground. I think this is so well done. And in $15 game, like I said, you're probably gonna get 9 or 10 hours out of, and I'm just kind of obsessed. I can't wait for the show to be over so I can go play another 3 or 4 hours. But you get to jump in too, Wes. What did you think so far?
So that's pretty incredible. So I notably did not play as much as you. I only played for about an hour, and I did not get to the parts where there are aircraft firing at my drone. So I'm sure that adds quite a bit of challenge and diversity to the gameplay. What I played of it, I mean, it was solid, man. It was a fully featured and polished tower defense game. Which, obviously not for everyone, but tower defense games play different in VR, and typically they are, um, if nothing else, they're enough to keep your attention for a while and kind of get you hooked in. A lot of the ones we've seen on PSVR2 or really just in this era of VR in general have been like more cartoony style things that are a little bit lesser in terms of progression and gameplay features. This one's hold on here. Sorry, my phone's ringing.
Okay.
This one's kind of full bore, right? Like there are full progression trees here for a number of different uh, defense modules and special abilities, and the maps are pretty big compared to what your typical tower defense map looks like. You can move around them. They're spacious, which means the paths of defense are longer and more varied than what you would typically see in one of these. Um, it's solid, man. Like tower defense isn't my thing typically, but I did enjoy my time in the game. I thought it was pretty fun. A little concerned at first, thinking it was going to be a little too simple and a little too easy.
Yep.
But by the
Agreed.
time you get to even the second level, like I failed. I failed on my first attempt on the second level. So like it ramps up pretty quickly. And no, it's pretty. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to it. And yeah, for $15, if you're into this sort of game, it's probably a pretty safe buy.
Yeah. As far as the visuals go, I've already DM'd the devs about this because I've said this before. Like I feel like I can tell the difference between 90 native and 120 native, right? And when I was in this game, I was like, this is definitely 120 native. And then I checked my social screen output, and it was running clearly at 60 frames a second. I was like, yep, okay, this is running at 120 native. And so I hate that this becomes the conversation over and over and over again, but like the resolution could definitely, we could stand to have like a little boost in resolution here. It could be razor sharp. It looks okay, but it's not razor sharp. And so there is this really nice lighting, and I think the maps look really nice. Actually, a lot of them remind me of, again, this is such a weird comparison. If anybody played the original Zone of the Enders on PlayStation 2, right, just kind of having the sense of scale where it's like a smaller city, right, because of the scale of the things that you're doing. It kind of had that feel for me. and I really enjoyed that. And so I like the look of this game. I like the lighting. I think the resolution could use a boost. And so I actually messaged the developers and said, "Listen, this thing doesn't have to run at 120 native, right? If you got to drop that down to 90 in order to boost the resolution just a little bit, I was like, man, what an amazing compromise that would be." And so they just DM'd me back and said that they'll look into it. But even if that doesn't happen, it's a $15 game, and I'm having a blast with it. And yeah, listen, the progression system, I think, is something that just keeps me. There's this constant carrot dangling in front of you, and so the progression system involves everything, right? Because you put down one of these turret guns, and you're able to, upgrade it to level 2 if you have enough money in the middle of a battle, upgrade it to level 3 if you have enough money. And so, that increases the range of the attack, the power of the attack, that kind of stuff, typical tower defense stuff. But you have to unlock those things first, right? And so the better you do in each mission, the more skill points you're awarded. And then between missions, you go in and you go unlock level 2, unlock level 3, and then there's other things to unlock, like the turrets cause 10% more damage because of steel tip bullets or whatever, or they fire 10% faster. Right. And I feel like I'm just scratching the surface of that. Then there's also upgrades for your drone where you're shooting. There's upgrades for your base where you can have it start automatically recharging its health, in case it takes damage in the middle of a match. There's just so much to upgrade and unlock that when it's one of those where you look at the menus, kind of like Synapse, right? While you're playing Synapse, you're looking through all of the upgrades that you can get, and you're like, man, I want all of these things, right? It's not every so often in a game like Legendary Tales, there'll be a couple things that you just kind of have to get in order to get to the things that you want. But for me in this game, I want everything, and so every single upgrade has been like really, really satisfying. And I haven't even unlocked all the different turrets you can buy. I haven't unlocked the laser turrets. I haven't unlocked any of the secondary upgrades for the freezing turrets or the flamethrower turrets. Nothing, right? 10 levels in, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. I'm having an absolute blast with this, man. I did not think it was going to hook me, and the fact that I no longer just want to rush out a 2-minute Brian bite. Instead, I want to do like a full-fledged review on this thing to give me an excuse to play for another 7 hours. You know what I mean? I can't justify spending 10 hours playing a game that I'm only going to do a 2-minute Brian bite on, but I can definitely justify spending 10 hours playing a game that I'm going to do a 7-minute review on. And so that's kind of the plan over the next 24 hours. I'm just going to play a lot more of this and hopefully get a review out as soon as possible because it's really good.
Izzard calling me out on it. I wondered if anyone would catch it. Yes, Izzard, I'll turn it off. He's asking me if I'm using the eye contact thing that makes it so that I'll always look at the camera. Yes, and now it's gone. So good call.
Oh, but the lighting is still on, right? The
lighting's still
lighting.
Beautiful, right?
Hell yeah. Yep. I don't know. I did see Radio Runt in the chat saying, "Oh, there he is." Yeah, he says this game totally hooked me. It's so good. He was calling it one of the best VR games ever. He says the progression system's amazing. I'm 100% with you, man. I don't think it's one of the best VR games ever made, but like I'm having a hard time complaining about much. It's a good time. It's a good time. So if you need a good tower defense game in your life, $15, man. $15, and it'll be out at midnight in your region. So it might already be out for some of you.
It's so nuts that you can buy games for $15, let alone VR games. It's like you go to Wendy's and get a large like combo meal. It's like $12 and change, and
Right.
you can buy a game for not much more than that.
Well, apparently, Wes, Pirates VR should only be $10, according to some of our viewers. It's crazy what people think, man. It's crazy, and like no judgment on anybody who it's your wallet. You spend your money however you want to. We always say vote with your wallet, but I'm like, man, we get a quality 3-hour adventure that's not reusing assets constantly or forcing you to backtrack through the same environments again and again, right? It's like quality from start to finish. And people are like, $20. That's way too much. It's way too much.
I disagree. I think $20 should be baseline in 2025. Hey, and it's not that I want to pay more. It's just being realistic about devaluation of currency over time, man. It's nuts that people look at $20 like it's a lot of money now. It's not. Most people make that in an hour of work, you know?
Yeah, and you've
Um,
got to remember that like these are people who are, really rolling the dice on porting their games over to PSVR2, saying, "Man, I hope we make our money back." Right? At the very least, we hope we make our money back. You're wondering why Home Sweet Home never got a PSVR. Home Sweet Home made it to PSVR 1 and it was one of our favorite horror games, but Home Sweet Home 2 never made it to PSVR 1. You know why? Do you know why? Because you didn't fucking buy Home Sweet Home, right?
did you ask Mastiff that when we were in
Yeah, I did. I did because I was like, we still love Home Sweet Home, one of our favorite horror games on PSVR 1. You should port it to PSVR 2 with Home Sweet Home 2. And it's like, it's like Mastiff isn't huge. They need to make sure that everything they do is profitable. And it sucks, man. And these are the stories you hear. People don't value the number of people it takes to make a game and the number of years it takes to make a game. And they say, oh, the game should have been $10 instead of 20. I was like, well, yeah, but look how beautiful it is. Look how much work was put into like every single area. It's like, okay, just because it's a 3 hour game, that's the problem, right? But it's a really good 3 hours. That's the point, So, but hey, like I said, that's just me. I value, I value art over most things. Like I'm not a fan of pirating things. I'm not a fan of, people always like, oh, you don't have to go to the movie theater to watch this. You can just download it, on a torrent site or whatever. No, I'm like this. It's not me, right? I'll go steal a loaf of bread from Walmart, but I'm not gonna fucking steal a movie from somebody or
yeah, go if you were to go to the movies and pay, for a ticket and get a bucket of popcorn and a soda, you're going to pay more than $20 altogether for that one-time experience that's going to be over in more than likely less than 3 hours.
yeah,
And that's not a crazy immersive adventure that puts you first person with, pirate skeletons running at you and shit.
yeah,
Um, while
yeah,
while you search for Davy Jones' treasure.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and then at the end of the day, you get to own it, right?
Right.
Like
Kind
it's
of.
you
You
go
get
home from
to
the
own
it,
it.
yeah. Yeah, I guess in 2025, buying something digitally doesn't mean the same thing as buying a game meant in like 1995. But you do
Buying
get
something physically doesn't mean the same in 2025
that's true,
that it meant 5 years ago.
right? But the fact is, for the foreseeable future, you're gonna be able to play this game. Pull it out of your library whenever you want to, and play it. And it costs you $20, and you pay $15 for a movie. You go to go watch by your alone. And I just found out that it's way cheaper to go to the theater in the UK. It's like £6 or £8, and that's
Really?
does not yeah it translates to $10 or $12 basically. I think.
You
So
can do that here on Tuesday in the afternoon.
right,
Very specific time.
right. So yeah, and then you get home from the movie theater and you're like, that was a great experience, but like you don't own the movie. You don't get to watch it whenever you want to. You have to like go buy, rent it or buy it or subscribe to a streaming service when it comes out to do that. So anyway, that's my take. I'm just really surprised, Wes. It's just so surprising that people like they draw a hard line on the number of hours they get out of a game. But I feel like we don't do that on movies. We don't do that on books. The length
Yeah,
of time in a game is the only time people seem to care about the length that something is. Although,
I think I know where you're
every,
going with this.
yeah, let's not go there.
Um, I think that this is true in all of gaming. I think it's more exacerbated in VR though, because in many ways, kind of the golden age for big budget VR games was the early days when companies were investing a lot into the idea of VR, and what that has now led to are situations where we have this massive back catalog of some of the most awesome games that go on sale frequently for pennies on the dollar, and thereby the value proposition is heavily skewed for a new game that's coming out. Why are you going to go pay $20 for a Pirates VR 3 hour experience when you can, pay $10 for one of the best games in the VR catalog when there's a massive sale on the PlayStation Store.
Massive sale in the PlayStation Store, you say? Not even massive sale. 3 massive sales. Dude, can you believe there's fucking 3 different sales going on simultaneously on the PlayStation Store? Of course you can, because there's always like a million sales going on in the PlayStation Store. And I gotta tell you, Wes. If you don't like the price of games, then all you gotta do is wait. If you think Pirates should be $10, you think Pirates should be $5, that's cool. I'm sure they'll be out of business soon enough because no one bought it, and they'll be discounting all their games real fast. So let's go check over on the PlayStation Store, because from what I've heard, there's 3 sales going on simultaneously. That's such a good segue, and I kind of beat it to the ground. You did so well.
At least you caught it. I was hoping you would catch it.
Hell yeah, dude! I catch everything. You should see me in chlamydia. It's fucking craziness. Okay.
Paul, the chlamydia files.
Actually, you never. So listen. Let's just be on the up and up here. You're never quite sure if it's going to be gonorrhea or chlamydia, because they treat you for both, regardless. The symptoms are so similar and all that. So, So who knows? Who knows what I've had a million times. All right. So all deals. We got a ton of deals going on here, dude. We have 102 results when you search all of the sales for PSVR2 games. Now, listen. We don't have all the time in the world. We don't. We're gonna actually rapid fire these things. However, so we've only got about 5 seconds per game to say thumbs up or thumbs down. But just because we're such ride or die guys, right? There's gonna be a couple games here that we want to ride or die and try to sell to you guys and be like, hey, we need to stop and talk about these for a second. And so each of us only have 3 ride or dies, okay? And so each of us have the opportunity to say, hey, fucking hit the brakes. We're going to talk about this game for a couple minutes. But otherwise, it's thumbs up or thumbs down. You ready to go through this one by one?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. We got 3 left. Gran Turismo 7 for $50. It's the anniversary digital deluxe. Yeah, why not, right? All right. Resident Evil 4 for half price, $20. Yep. Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, $20. Yeah, seriously. Hitman World of Assassination Part 1? Dude.
Part 1?
I don't even understand, but it's only $9 instead of $30. So just, I'm sure whatever they're giving you here is worthy.
It's weird that it's parsed out like that. Part 1 VR edition.
Let's put it this way. If you're not sure if you're going to like Hitman, right, because it is very specific, a very specific kind of game for a specific kind of person, so $9? Yeah.
This is literally Hitman 1.
Oh, good. I liked Hitman 1.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
cool.
It's amazing. It's great. It's definitely worth $9. It's interesting because they this is the first time they've ever parsed it out like that for VR, right? It's always been all or nothing. Well, actually, no, that's not true. It's always been Hitman 3 or the entire trilogy. You've never just been able to go buy Hitman 1 VR.
Right. You had to buy Hitman 3 and then purchase 1 and 2 and import it into 3. So you needed 3 no matter what. So it's cool that here's just 1 if you want it. I think 1 and 2 are better games than 3. Don't hurt me. So anyway,
I'm not gonna hurt you because I barely played 3 because I don't want to spoil the story. I always go in and play Hitman 1. Like 90% of my time in Hitman VR has been in Hitman 1.
We're doing a good job of keeping it to 5 seconds a game. We got Swordsman VR. That required some explanation, so I think that was fair. Swordsman VR for $12, 40% off.
I haven't done this one on PS5 yet, PSVR2 yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a thumbs up anyway.
I'm going to give it a thumbs up too, and I haven't spent much time with it on PSVR 2 either, so I should probably get back to it. Creed Rise Glory Championship Edition for $16 instead of $40. $16 instead of $40. Listen, I'm gonna say yes, even though I think the best boxing game is actually Midnight Mutant Boxing League. But yes, $16 is a great deal.
Yeah, I could go either way on that.
You know who else can go either way? Alien Rogue Incursion VR for $20. It's half price already. It only came out a few months ago. Big time up.
Definitely.
Yep. Drunken bar fight for $12 instead of 17. No, I'm sorry. That time is over. Transformers Beyond Reality for 13 instead of 25. Nope, that time is over. Green Hell VR for 15 instead of 20. Listen.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll say because this is a great campaign, and they've added in so much more content since I played it.
Yeah.
Plus, we're just giving you the base price. You get even more money off if you're a plus subscriber.
Right. And also they just reduced the base price of this game from 30 to 20. So like it's actually way cheaper than it's ever been. Yeah, Spirits of the Amazonias came out. There's so a lot of DLC, the co-op mode, that's cool. And they fixed the resolution problem. So yeah, what the fuck, man? Yeah, let's go thumbs up. Arcanage for 28 instead of 40. Yep.
If that said 60, I would be thumbsing up on that. I heard it sold big though.
I did hear it sold big, so now it can continue to sell big. Grad Rush VR Highway Car Traffic Racing Simulator, 2 thumbs down. Go fuck yourself. It's $7 instead of 13. That game should never have been made. Cooking Simulator VR for 18 instead of 25.
Played it, but I would be very surprised if it's worth $20.
I haven't spent a ton of time with it, but I wasn't loving what I played, so I'll get back to it one day. Gorn is $10 instead of 20. Not the PSVR2 version, man. They still need to do work on that shit. Gun Club VR for half price, $12.50 instead of 25.
I mean, look, man, the quality's there. It's a question of scope. I feel like, pun not intended. But I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I guess it's a fair price for the polish. It is a polished experience. It's a good experience. But it is what the title says it is. It's like a gun experience,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's fine. I think this is the right price for it. Right. So I am gonna say yes. And also I love the binary mill. I love that they brought us resist, and that, it's like, so I want to support them, and I do think that if you play this, you'll enjoy it. It's a little bit more than the wave shooter that it presents itself as. Kayak VR Mirage for 30% off, $16 instead of 23.
Yeah, I don't think it's the greatest game in the world, but it is one of the best demo titles in the catalog.
I suck at kayaking, and that's why it gets a meh. I can't win a race of my life dependent on it. When I get better at it, it'll get a thumbs up. Resist for 15% off or 20% off with Plus, making it about $20 instead of 25. Listen, I'm giving this fucking 2 thumbs up. I know I only gave it like a 7 or 7.5 or whatever, but man, they updated it with the 120 hertz mode, and it just feels great to play. And again, I love the binary mill, and I hope they keep bringing their games over. Mutant Boxing League VR for $18.36 instead of 25. Remember this thing launched for like $35, and then they dropped the price from that, and so now it's even cheaper, an extra 5% off with Plus. I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, I am too. I think that the retail price of this game is pretty spot on for the quality and content. So
yeah.
Yeah,
this honestly looked like a kind of like shovelware to me when I first saw it. And I was like, oh God, another fucking, what are we doing? And then I played it. And I was like, this is really fucking good. I think like Rypop says, it might out knockout league. Walkabout Mini Golf for $18.74, 25% off instead of 25. Didn't they just add a bunch of courses? Like, so if you're buying the base game.
Yeah, it says in the fine print here, premium edition. So quickly, I'll see what that means.
So again, better deal than it's ever been. I think they included like 5 more courses than they usually do. So, but I will say this: Walkabout always gets a thumbs up, even if it's at its fucking default $25 price tag. Walkabout's so good.
Can't tell exactly what the premium edition entails, but yeah, I'm gonna thumbs up anyway. It's just good.
Rypop's in the chat saying Mutant Boxing League is a must. Sweet. Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue for 65% off or 70 with Plus is $10 instead of 30. Yep. The Red Matter Collection for 30% off. It's 28 instead of 40. Yeah. And don't forget, the collection actually is a discount, right? Because Red Matter 1 was 30 and Red Matter 2 was 40 when it launched, or I can't remember what it was, but either way, you're getting a discount on top of a discount.
Either one of
Onirium,
those games is worth $28.
yep,
It's great.
agreed. Onirium is 40 or 50% off with Plus, making it $15 instead of 25. I'm sorry, nope,
Played it.
don't waste your time. Painted Town Red VR, 40% off or 50% off with Plus, is making it $12 instead of 20. Yep, big time. Surprisingly good.
Content. It's a great game.
I'll get to some of that content eventually. Supermarket CEO Simulator. I remember putting this in the PSVR this week. I've never played it. Have you?
Nope.
All right, skipping off to the second page. Space Docker VR, bro. It is 60% off or 70% off with Plus for making it $5 or instead of 15.
I mean, I haven't played it. I would be inclined to say yeah, unless you tell me that it's just shovelware garbage. I mean, it's $5.
All right, I'm here to tell you, 2 thumbs up. Even at its original price, it is so cool. The basis of this game is learning the controls, right? And then once you learn the controls, you feel like a fucking master. It out dig VR's dig VR. Stop it with the sirens. I'm trying to do a show.
That's the Hampton Inn experience right there for everyone. By the way,
yeah, Space Stalker VR. Do not overlook this, especially for the price, dude. Like it is a blast. I need to get back to this. I was planning on putting out a Brian Bite and never got around to it. You should do it. Kill It With Fire VR. It is 75% off, making it $3.74 instead of 15.
You know, I normally thumbs down this game. I normally don't recommend it to people, but fuck, $3, sure.
I thought it was fun. The premise gets old after 2 or 3 hours, but at that point, you've gotten your $4 worth out of it, so don't worry about it. I'm gonna skip these bundles. Bartender VR Simulator. Dude, it doesn't matter how much this is. Fuck this game. I'm sorry. Yep. Vampire the Masquerade Justice for 40% off or 45 with Plus is $18 instead of 30.
2 thumbs up here. I think this is one of the most underrated games in the catalog. This is a great game, and more people should be talking about it.
Nice. I would love to go back and just play this in my own leisure time instead of rushing through it for a review, because I really enjoyed it, and I feel like playing through it again would just be really satisfying. Cities VR Enhanced Edition, 10% off or 15% off with Plus, making it $27 instead of $30. That's not much of a sale, and I didn't even like this game very much.
So for me, no. But if you're into like city builders, then this is the most, feature complete, full-fledged city builder in VR. I'm just not, and I find these games boring and tedious, and just as a genre. And this game I found to be boring and tedious. It was hard. It was not fun. Yeah, I mean, it looked okay, but I mean, that's about all I can say about it.
Listen, I actually like city builders, and I've liked city builders since the original Sim City, back in whatever that was, the late '80s or whatever. And in this, I just think that they didn't think about VR when they were designing the controls for this. It doesn't feel good to play. So even as a person who likes city builders, I'm just not into it. That's just me. Racket Fury Table Tennis for 20% off or 25% off with Plus, making it 24 instead of 30. Yeah.
I'm going to say yes, because 11 Table Tennis, for whatever reason, never made it. So this is the one.
Yep. Agreed. They didn't do a good job of like giving us an upgrade path or anything like that, or giving us a discount. But still, this is still quality. Ragnarok for half off, making it $12.50 instead of $25.
Take it or leave it.
I leave it. It's just not for me. I know people love this game, and so I apologize, but I got to be honest with my feelings. I'm just not a fan. Give me propagation all day, every day, guys. Go back to that shit. House Flipper VR, 25% off or 30% off with Plus, making it $11 instead of 15. I haven't played this
Either, and if it was $5, I probably still wouldn't play it. Like, just I don't understand why people like these, but if you do, hey, more power to you.
I'm gonna skip the bundle for Gun Club and let's go to Whitewater VR Extreme Kayaking Adventure. 25% off and get 15 instead of 20.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. That's about where I would price it at. It's about $15. It's about what it's worth.
Yeah. Sushi Ben. Sushi Ben is 25% off or 30% off with plus, making it $18, $17 instead of 25.
This is weird. I like Sushi Ben.
Yeah.
I think it's a good game. I feel like this is more of a $15 game than a $20 game.
Yeah, listen, I love the work that went into this. I think the developer is like so onto something here. But he and I have the same thoughts on his game, right? That like he created this awesome living world. This is going to be my one. Hold on, I'm using one of my
Okay.
pause buttons, okay? Because I need to talk about this for a second. Go watch my review. He did visual novels in the right way, right? But what he did was create a world that was so cool that you just want to explore between the things that you're doing. And I was like, dude, I just want to go. All these people that I've met in your town, I want to go see what they're doing, even when it's not time to interact with them, right? Like, and you know, I was thinking about how great the fishing game is and how great the ping pong game is, and I was like, you should let us do all of this stuff and hang out with characters, even when it's not time to hang out with those characters. And he agrees. Right, he's like, yeah, these are things that had to get cut so I could actually get the game out and like finish the game. But he's got all of this DLC planned to make it a bigger, more fleshed out experience. So there's stuff to do between the missions and actually take advantage of exploring this kind of open world town he created. And so, as far as I'm concerned, this dude just knows what's cool about gaming, and especially if you like visual novels, this is like one of my favorites. It's way better than any other visual novel in VR. So I'm giving big thumbs up.
You convinced me because if this guy's trying to support this with more content, then we need to support him. And like I said a moment ago, $20 is not a lot of money. So sure.
What are you doing up there? Oh god, she's staring me down. It's like she's gonna pounce. I'm skipping all the bundles, so we're gonna go right to Crisis Brigade 2 Reloaded for 30% off, making it 10 instead of 15. Yep, big time.
Yep.
Before Your Eyes for half price, $7.50 instead of 15.
Sure.
Yeah, it didn't make me cry like I wanted it to. I wanted it to be more emotional. It made other people cry though, so I'm just broken. Big Shots for 50% off or 60% off, making it $10 or less instead of 20.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the game per se, but for $10, it's not bad. It's very average. Okay.
I played for 3 hours with AJ, I think, one day, and I will say if you have a friend to play it with, it's way more fun. But it is a mech roguelite. So Tatum in the chat says $10 is perfect. I'm with you.
Underdogs is way better. Just saying.
You know what? I feel like you could be right, and it's time for me to give Underdogs another shot when I have some time. I can't wait to get back into Underdogs, honestly. So we'll see. What the Bet, 60% off, making it $10 instead of 25. Hey, What the Bet, go fuck yourself. I hate your game so much, it's not even funny. Tentacular for $10 or less with plus instead of 25.
Yeah, it's $10.
Yeah, it's dude. Like that game is so much different than I thought it would be. It's like such a physics puzzler. And there's a lot of content there. Yeah, I think you just do it. Behind the Frame VR, which is 20% off or 25% off with plus, making it $15 instead of 20.
Yeah, no. I mean, I haven't played it, but no.
No, I played it and it was half broken and half confusing, and they didn't know what the hell they were trying to do with that. Space Explorer, 80% off, making it $2 instead of 10, and it's not worth your time. Forget about your $2. This game is terrible.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Is there any redeeming quality at all about this game?
Nope, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is shovelware through and through, and the fact that they're getting any of your money is really sad. Very Bad Dreams. It is 70% off or 85% off with plus, making it like $3, I think, instead of 15.
Definitely thumbs up. This is like pennies for I mean, not the best game in the world, but certainly a good indie horror game.
Yeah, it's low budget horror, but it's very inventive. Uh, I yep. If you like budget horror games or indie horror, you should definitely give
Surreal.
it a shot.
It's a surreal horror game.
Yep. Yeah, for real. It's cool. And Get Out is coming out at the end of this month on the 30th, which is a very bad dreams story. It is in this world, and I think it's only gonna be like $10 or something. So prime the pumps, guys. Go play a $5 or $4, $3 horror game before the $10 horror game sequel comes out. Uh, Umurangi Generation VR. It's 30% off or 40% off with Plus, making it about $16 instead of 25. Not for me.
About that game.
The Tale of Onagoro, 30% off, making it 25 instead of 35.
Generally I like this game. I still think it's a little overpriced, probably at $25.
Yeah, I feel like maybe 25 should have been the launch price, and then it could have been discounted to like 16, 17, and would have given it a thumbs up. Moving on.
Exactly where I'm at with it. Yeah.
Propagation Paradise Hotel. We got to speed this up a little bit. Propagation Paradise Hotel for half price, $10 instead of 20.
Yes, all day.
Okay, even though we're speeding this up, I am using my second buzzer. Bro, we talked about this so many times, but in case you haven't been paying attention, it was a steal at $20. Yes, I know it's a short game, but it's like quality from beginning to end. Like the whole time you're playing it, you're like, God, this game looks good and feels good and plays good, and it's got multiple boss fights, and it's super tense and scary. They did such a good job with this. Go give them your money. We're never gonna get part 2 if we don't buy part 1. Like let's show WannaDev that like PSVR2 is the place to bring their games. I'm really nervous about this one. Like this is such a fantastic horror game. Okay, that's it. That's my sales pitch. Do it.
Do it.
Organ Quarter for 30% off, making it 17 instead of 25.
Yeah.
Yep. Star Tenders, half price or 50% off or 70% off with Plus.
You know what? I'll say yes, just on the price.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a great game, but it's worth that.
You got to be into this kind of stuff, right? If like you really like the whole like waiting tables, bartending, whatever, right? The rapid fires, making sure you get the customers' orders right. If that does something to you in your brain and it makes you happy, go for it. But otherwise, no. DA Enhanced Gold Edition for 35 or 45% off, making it $10 instead of 15.
I mean, yeah, it's worth it. You're not going to want to go in there by yourself, but if you have, 4 to 30 friends that want to all throw down $10 on it, then sure.
Yeah, agreed. Power Beats VR. I never played this.
Nope, me either.
Gorilla Attack. Did you play that?
Briefly, I don't even think I'm in at $2 on this. I wanted to say yes just because it's $2, but I got
Yeah.
it for free and I don't play it, so
Yeah,
take
I
that
did a
for what
Brian
you will.
bite. Go watch that. It's bad. Thumbs down. Unhidden. I didn't play this, but I want to. Maybe I'll buy it. Did you play it? No. Last Labyrinth. 30% off. 21 instead of 30.
I wanted to like this game so much, but no.
Yeah, the interactions suck. Alvo VR for 60% off. $8 instead of 20. Yeah, absolutely.
I like Elbow.
Abs- I've heard
It's
it's
good.
got updates and shit too. Like that. Like I haven't even seen like any kind of promotional materials on updates, but it's got the Gamecats are the ones telling me, oh, there's like new maps and like new modes or whatever. And I'm like, holy shit, I got to get back into
Yep,
there.
they picked it up like 2 or 3 months ago. They picked it up and started updating it again.
Crazy. Aka R for $7 instead of 20.
Yep. You guys want Polybius to come to PSVR? Everybody go pick up Aka R for $7.
Listen, I'll go buy iRobot. I'm not. I can't. I can't do Aka R. But buy iRobot. Apparently, the more you play, the better it gets. I trust highlight notes. Masters of Light for 15 instead of 20. Not for me. I don't care if it has hand tracking.
Tracking makes it worse. I'd rather play with controllers.
I agree.
I'm kind of where like I'm like this. I feel like $15 is where the game should be priced at, like as a normal price.
Yeah.
Um, it's pretty, and it does get challenging at times. So yeah, it's about where what it's worth. About $15.
I have not played more than 5 minutes of Dark Sword Battle Eternity, but I will tell you that I am very interested in it at this price, at $10 instead of 20. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, if it's polished out and plays well, then it's worth $10 all day long. I heard that it launched in a not so great state on PlayStation, so I don't know what kind of updates it's gotten. But if it's polished and it plays well, it's worth $20. So yeah,
All right, we got Corridor VR, 25% off or 30 with plus, making it $15 instead of 20.
but
I like this, but like I don't know, man. Like I it should be 10. I think it should be 10. Yeah. Windlands 2, 45% off or 50% off with plus, making it $16 instead of 30.
10 thumbs up all day
Yeah.
long.
And get a few friends to play with, because it's way more fun with friends, especially when like you hit a difficult part and you just keep dying over and over. It becomes hilarious at that point. The utility room, 25% off or 35% off with plus, making about $14 instead of 19.
Look, I like the utility room, but it should be like $10 or less.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with the price tag that Wes just delivered, and also only if you have a Pro, because the Pro smooths out a lot of the frame rate issues that this game has, which shouldn't have frame rate issues. Down and Out for 70% off or 75% out. Oh my God, no, fuck you, Down and Out. It doesn't matter how much it costs. Horror Adventure for 80% off, $2 instead of 10. Listen, I don't think it's a good game, but for $2, I like indie crappy horror sometimes. Okay, this is made by the same people who made a lot of other bad games, and this might be the exception to my rule with them. I think for $2, I get $2 of fun out of it.
Yeah, I didn't play it, but
Good for you.
I'd say it's probably worth $2.
Rainbow Reactor Fusion for 80% off, or 85% off with plus, making it less than $3 or $15 instead of $15.
I didn't play it. I don't know.
Listen, for this price, yes, absolutely. Man,
And for the record, everything else on this page, I think I have. Oh, there's another. No, everything else on this page, I haven't played. So.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go real quick. Toy Trains, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Super cozy, fun game at that price. They've actually added a bunch of content too. Brain Beats, nope, not a good game, period. Break Stuff VR, listen, they fixed everything in my review and I still don't like the game. Paint the Town Red, we already talked about. So moving on to page 4, brings us to Human Fall Flat VR for half price, $6.50. It's all right, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't play it, but I'd be surprised if it's not worth $6. I've heard good things about it.
Harpagun for 30% off, 14 instead of 20. Not for me.
Play Harpagun. I might actually. I was going to reach out for a key for Game of the Month. We're going to do Game of the Month April,
Oh.
probably this weekend, and I might just pay the $14 to not have to ask for a key.
Yeah, I would feel really bad about spending $14 on this. I think this is a terrible game. And it's not come together, I think, the way they wanted it to. But moving on, skipping over all the bundles. I haven't played Dropship Commander on PSVR2, but I did play it on PSVR1 a little bit, I believe. And for only $4 or $3 instead of $8.
You can hear Betty's voice.
Oh, okay. I guess there. Yeah, it's a pretty simple arcade game. Skipping over stuff, skipping over DLC. Darkness Roller Coaster. You know what? I haven't played Darkness Roller Coaster on PSVR 2. I heard it's a good version. It's only $3 instead of 10. I want to check it out. I'll say that.
So I never played this game, purely based on your and AJ's reaction to it. I always thought it looked fucking cool from like the trailers and stuff. But you guys shit on this game so hard that I said I'm not even going to bother trying it.
Yeah. That's fair.
So yeah, it's $3.
Yeah. Probably only about $2 with or less than $2 with plus. I will try this out on PSVR2 because I need to see if they finally delivered a great version. I've heard it's the best version. So that brings us to Ghost Signal, a Stellaris game. It's only it's 15% off or 20% off with Plus, making it $8 instead of 10. They obviously dropped the price on this. It used to be a $20 game, and
It was a
I think
$30 game, was it not?
I don't know, but it was.
I think it
I
was.
gave it a 9 out of 10. I love this game. One of my favorite roguelites in VR, and so 2 thumbs up for this amazing price. Now for Broadcast VR, didn't play enough to really know. I didn't get into the meat of it, but this really 75% off, only $6 instead of 25. If you're interested, seems like it's a no-brainer. All right, we can skip a bunch of stuff now. Broken Edge for $8 instead of 15.
Yeah. A good solid title, actually.
All right, we're just about there. We got Horror Adventure Zombie Edition. Unlike Horror Adventure, I give this a big thumbs down. This is a pile of crap. I'm sorry. Mare is 30% off, making it $17 instead of 25. I feel like it's a good game. It needs to be cheaper.
Yeah, I'm the same. I liked Mare, but that's a little bit high in the price.
Yeah, it should have been 20 to begin with, and this would have been a good $12 game. And that brings us to the very last game on this Zombie Bar Simulator, making it 20% off, 25% off with Plus, making it 16 instead of 20. Again, this kind of stuff really isn't my jam. So thumbs
10,
down
$12 maybe. I mean, it's polished. It's polished. But again, it's a very basic party game. So
yeah. Looper says, not for broadcast is a real hidden gem, great humor. And that's what I've heard. I definitely would like to spend more time with it when I have the chance. We'll get there at some point. All right. That's the wrong button. Let's do a quick little 4-minute challenge and get the hell out of here. We can both get back to real life. But real quick, we got, oh shit. Hold on a second. Nihilus Ryan saying with a $5 tip. What's up, Nihilus Ryan? Saying, here's hoping Iron Guard does what Towers and Powers could not. I don't know what Towers and Powers could not do. Maybe hold his attention.
maybe.
Towers and Powers got really tough near the end. I'm curious to see if Iron Guard does the same. Scott, the PSVR Gamecat for life with the $5 says, great to meet you and your wife at the Gamecat meetup. He's obviously not talking about me. 2025. Wes, was an amazing week to see you and Brian and all the cats sometime next year in Las Vegas. We're floating Vegas. We'll see if that happens or not. But you guys let us know where you want to have the Gamecat meetup this year. Vegas would be really cool though. All right, man. Everybody out there, get ready. Get at your keyboards or pull out your phone little keyboards because Wes is going to need some help from all of you. I got a game in mind for the 4-minute challenge. It might be on PSVR 1. It might be on PSVR 2. But Wes only has 4 minutes and an infinite number of yes or no questions to figure out what game it is. So ask good questions in the chat, help him out, and then based on my answers, suggest good games that it might be. I'm going to put 4 minutes up on the clock up on the counter. Are you ready?
I am ready.
On your mark, get Des, go.
PSVR2.
No.
Okay, it was PSVR 1. Is it on other platforms other than PSVR 1?
Yes.
So it's cross-platform. Is it on Quest?
Ooh, I don't know. Keep asking questions.
Knows it's on Steam. He doesn't know if it's on Quest. Okay.
It is on Quest. Let me check to see if it's on Steam. You keep asking questions.
Okay. Is it playable flat?
Okay, it is on Steam, and no, it's not playable flat.
So it is a fully cross-platform PSVR 1 game, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we said, PSVR 1.
Yep.
Let's see. Is it based on a known IP?
No. No. But you could read into it like a lot of other with the influences. It's influenced by something, but no. It's not.
Okay.
Don't think about that too much.
All right, got you. Multiplayer?
No.
First person?
Yes.
Shooter?
There's a lot of shooting, yes.
First person. You said not first person, right? All right.
It is first person, and there is a
It is
lot
first
of
person.
shooting.
First person shooter, multi-platform, not based on an IP, but maybe influenced by one.
Yes.
Sci-fi.
Not in the way that you'd think of sci-fi, but for the things to be happening that are in this game, there's definitely some sci-fi going on.
Okay, is there horror elements?
You could look at it that way. More goofy horror. I feel like I'm just giving it away right now.
Goofy horror, multi-platform shooter, PSVR1 era. Or is there melee combat in it?
That's a good question. I don't believe so. I don't think so.
Zombies?
No.
So it's horror-ish, but okay. Horror
Yeah.
shooters, you guys. Horror shooters, multi-platform, PSVR1 era.
And even
Goofy.
horror is pushing it. It's
Yeah.
goofy horror.
Goofy horror, like Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion type goofy shit.
That kind of goofy horror for sure.
Does it support aim controller?
No.
Controller. Does it support DualShock?
No.
So it's definitely move controllers. Full locomotion, then I would assume.
No.
No. Is it a rail shooter?
No.
It's a wave shooter then.
Yes.
A wave shooter. Okay. This should be easy, guys. Like Quest compatible wave shooter that's kind of silly, goofy. Like no, Brookhaven wasn't on Quest.
You got 30
I don't
seconds.
think so. Dinosaurs in this
Nope.
at all?
Nope, not Time Carnage.
Not Shooty Fruity, not Raw Data. Shit, I should know this. No, it can't be that. Well, is it good, Brian?
Yes. I think we all agree it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's just not Wraith.
Right.
Shit. I don't know what fits here.
All right, 2 seconds. I think you got to make a guess.
Waiting on somebody in the chat to give me something that fits the fucking bill. Nobody is.
Yeah.
Everyone's giving me shit that don't fit. All right, I give up. I don't know. What is it, Brian?
I'm very curious about why you didn't say it, but I guess we're about to find out. Coming out January 18th, 2018 from N Dreams. It is in fact Shooty Fruity. You said no to Shooty Fruity. Why did you pass on that?
I don't really consider that like horror when I think about it. Like I'm thinking Ghost. If it's not zombies, it's Ghost.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really put
I was worried about that. I was worried about that. I was like, it's very Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I thought that's where it was taking inspiration from. And
I guess there's scary watermelons and shit in it.
I get nervous with horror, and that's why I kept doubling down on like silly, goofy horror, cartoony horror, whatever the hell I said. So I feel like I steered you astray there accidentally.
It's all right. I don't know. I would have done any different.
See, the Fenner PSVR2 says that doesn't have goofy horror or horror at all. Ha ha ha. I was terrified because I'm a baby. I say it's I think it's really stressful, and I think that's what, like, I remember the feeling of being really stressed out, right? Because you're like multitasking, and you're trying to get shit done to get more weapons, and so I think the stress level that it induced caused me to think it's more horror than it really was. So I think that's on me.
Well,
great game though.
I'll hold it against you.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a nice, unique premise, having to scan groceries while defending.
Yeah. Listen. End Dreams. If you're out there listening, we fucking keep your frenzies. We don't care. No one's that upset about that. There are a couple people who are upset. I would have liked to play frenzies, but you know what? You can make it up to us. Get Shooty Fruity ported over. Get Fract ported over, get the assembly ported over. I think that's fair. 3 for 1, right?
Yeah, I would rather have Tutti Frutti than Frenzies. I've played Frenzies. Not that it's not fun or anything. I think it has a very specific audience, and I'm not that. So
Looper, the underground game cat, rare in the chat says first time it's been picked. For kick, it's the first time it's been picked. I almost didn't pick it because I feel like I picked it many times before. So that's always interesting to hear. He said just like the 5 previous games that have never been picked. So we're kind of on a streak all our own, picking games that have never been picked. Awesome. That's really good to hear. Shades of Grey Matter in the chat says we all forgot that Brian has a crippling fear of fruit. So true. All right, you guys. Definitely the show went a little longer than we expected it to, so we got to get out of here. But thank you so much for hanging out with us and shooting the shit. So happy to be back and get back into the regular routine and pumping out these reviews and Brian bites like nobody's business. Let's hope. On a roll so far. But thank you everybody who supports the channel, whether it be as part of the GoFundMe over on patreon.com/ProGames, being a member over here on YouTube, by tipping during the show. But you know what? We don't really care about all that. We're just happy that you're here, hanging out with us. Join our Discord, shooting the shit in the chat, helping during 20 questions, or sitting back, watching the show and not saying a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Happy Wednesday, Wes.
happy Wednesday, Brian. Happy Wednesday, cats. We'll see you soon.
Let's go. All right, let's take a look at what happened this weekend without Parole history. I always forget to cue this up before going live. It's always easier when we know what we're doing. Let's see here. We are looking at the beginning of May, so we can do this weekend without Parole history. We can go 2021, 2022, 2023. Can we go back to 2020? Is that somewhere here? We can go. I don't think we did a show in 2020. That's really weird.
2021.
All right, 2021 it is, coming right up. Huge PSVR sale. Trover for $10. Plus Gadgeteer, Zero Caliber, and more. So apparently.
Zero Caliber?
Yeah. Oh, man. Dude, huge PSVR sale, though. You got to love it. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Literally 4 years ago, we were having the exact same goddamn conversations. Beautiful. All right, you guys. Have a wonderful night. We love you all.
Meow. Bye.